but they are technically off, I think.
And do we know? So before we get started, do we know the significance of GreenTunic's choice of name here, which looks to be Asuna?
Yeah, he always does that because he's a giant SAO fan or something.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I can't believe I have to cancel GreenTunic.
At least he didn't name himself like Marin or anything like that.
I can't believe I have to cancel Spice Father.
So anyway, as hopefully people who are watching this now know, this is Hundo, no Woob. So for Hundo, they'll be collecting all of the items, all of the heart pieces, all of the photographs, which are unique to DX, and 20 seashells, as well as all upgrades. No Woob means no wrong warp, no out of bounds, which are super complicated things to explain, so we're not going to, but basically just means don't do evil stuff.
Don't do evil stuff, yet we leave Marin on the bridge later on. I mean...
Oh, she's... whatever, she's imaginary. So as always, they're gonna start off with... they're gonna start off with farming 10 rupees, trying to do rupee dupes as much as they can, so we'll see how everyone's RNG is.
So they're hoping for some good drops, and just that they can line it up so that the rupee drops on Link and his shield at the same time. We're seeing Black. Black is actually calling it 5 rupees. It's pretty bold.
Vlack has possibly the biggest balls I've seen in this tournament, because each one of these bushes has a 1 in 16 chance. Oh, GT, nice. 1 in 16 chance of dropping a rupee, and you can dupe it if you're lucky, but you generally don't. So Black kind of took a huge risk doing that so early.
And it's already starting to show, it's already starting to give him some trouble here. GT already having stolen the shovel and paying the price, while Black is still trying to find that final rupee.
Yeah, 203 enter shop is not a great time, but Black is definitely a good enough runner that it shouldn't... I mean, depending on RNG, they can still go either way.
Yeah, it's still early. There's a lot of things that can happen, but still, you don't want to have a start like this. Just kind of might sour you, might make you, cause you to do things. Not that I'm expecting Black to make any amateur hour mistakes. He's been grinding this game harder than pretty much anybody in the last few months.
Yeah, him and the French runners, like, we have an ongoing joke in our community that there's the Baguette Brigade, because we have, what do we have? We have Seisei, who is the current world record holder. We have Sagaz, we have Node Kaju, and Olos, and they are all, like, they are the top 5 or 6 runners, basically, as well as Bamboo Shadow, who speaks a bit of French, and Black, who I don't think speaks any French.
I don't believe so either. We're also going to see another one departure from the tournament last year. GT popping into the doghouse there to grab a seashell. That also sets that doorway as a save and quit point, because unlike any % no Scoob, we actually can use save and quit to warp around and save a lot of overworld travel time, so we're going to be seeing them do that throughout the run. And
Also, I was catching up one shot. I see some guys saying, if you have balls, you save and quit after the sword. Okay, so guys, I expect to see that in your next run.
And GT forgetting to equip the bombs there. So he has a couple of extra screen transitions before pulling off one of the most ridiculous tricks you'll be seeing throughout this run, which is the bomb trigger. We're going to see Vlack do it here in a moment. Killing a very specific moblin, dropping bombs on that transition, and suddenly Terran is a human again. No raccoons here, no siree.
The nice thing about doing the bomb trigger is, like, we normally activate turn by using powder, but although that doesn't take too long itself, it makes him bounce around the screen a bunch, and that takes quite a bit of time. So bomb trigger saves quite a lot of time in that regard.
Yeah, and bomb triggers are incredibly useful because they can be used to cause events to happen on any number of screens, and we'll be using them a lot. Just keep your eyes peeled for that one.
As Wolfos points out, Black wasted a bomb there, but they really don't need to worry too much about their bomb count throughout the entire run. They have 10 for now, and they're only... I think they only need like 6 before they get the bomb upgrade, which gives them a full 60 refill.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're playing a little bit fast and loose with your bombs and your arrows, you could have some trouble enter D4. So we'll see.
No, arrows are the ones that's tight.
Okay.
Especially if you accidentally upgrade your powder instead of bow.
Oh god, don't even joke about that. Don't even joke
Hopefully
about that.
only happens to Dragon. In the past, I mean, because he did that in one race. Not that he'll do it again.
Oh my god.
I mean, it'd be funny if he did.
Oh my god. Just wishing ill upon the runners. Why would you do this?
I'm not wishing it, but it would be funny.
So, these tricks are doing all this nonsense. Dungeon 1 is a very short dungeon, and now with the Rock's Feather, the entire rest of the game is just a bit of a laugh. In part because this one trick that we get to do with the Rock's Feather, you're going to see GT clip into the wall here, and now just do a super jump to jump over that key block.
Oh, and GT's going for some chest turns here. You can see the slash to the side there, because he was trying to do... Basically, you open the chest, and then you hit a direction on the exact frame after opening the chest. And if you do that right, you'll open it, but you'll, like, turn to the side, and it's super swag, but there's no point to it. It only loses time. I don't think he realizes that he's in the lead, otherwise he might not be trying that.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh! Moldorm is a bit of a troll in this. He's the first dungeon boss, and he's surprisingly one of the hardest bosses, because this little tiny platform you're standing on, he has a real fun habit of just knocking you into the pit.
Yeah, and these pits don't damage you, they drop you into another room. So if you fall down, you get to come back up and enter the boss battle again, starting over if you've already done however much damage. Although, interestingly, if you're playing this game on... Okay, in this one, if you fall down, you hold up, and you'll just sort of jump right back up the staircase, putting you the room below Moldorm. If you do that in the original Link's Awakening, the non-DX version, you'll actually do a wrong warp.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they realized that you could potentially do that.
Yeah, one fun things about Link's Awakening is that this game lets you buffer inputs a lot. Both like on pausing and unpausing, on screen transitions, you can do all sorts of buffering, and it's incredibly useful.
Yeah, there are a bunch of tricks that we do where you need frame-perfect inputs to do it, but you can buffer the game one frame at a time, or even multiple frames at a time if you want to go like slightly faster and you know you need all the frames. So it makes the frame-perfect tricks pretty free to do, but if you want to do them quickly, you have to do them without buffering as much as possible.
Yeah. So, I mean, and doing it unbuffered definitely is far more challenging, but the game gives you 3 flavors of menu, each of them using up different numbers of frames, so there are a lot of tools available to you depending on what level you're running this game at, but I'm expecting both GT and Black to do tricks unbuffered as much as possible, just because they're playing at such a high level.
Yeah, I think for Rooster Skip, I think GT actually does buffer that, because even if you're an experienced runner, that's a trick that can really screw you over. Whereas Black has a really crazy setup that nobody else does. It actually seems a bit safer, but it does require more jumps, so it is technically more dangerous.
Yeah, it requires 3 frame-perfect inputs instead of just 2. But yeah,
So,
here,
yeah, we completely missed actually commentating on what they're doing.
No, we're kind of, sort of, maybe not. No, we're not.
Oh, so there's a mouse there. He likes taking pictures of people, and he'll keep a nice little album for you. So you're actually just getting your second picture from him there. The first one you get is when you steal the bow. Actually, the shovel, since that's the first thing you steal. Because the mouse is just sitting in the shop waiting for you to do it, I guess.
I mean, he just knows.
Yeah, like, why... Maybe that's why the shopkeeper knows we steal, because this stupid mouse is ratting us out.
I mean, it could also just be that he turns around and suddenly his shovel's gone. I mean, it could very well be that.
But there's so many villagers that could have done it, because everybody shops there at the shovel, bow, and bomb store.
Obviously, it was Old Man Olrire who never leaves his house. Let's go murder an old man.
Yeah, give him the force lightning.
Yeah. Do it.
So GT getting a pretty good RNG on that. When you have to get into Dungeon 2, you need to wait for Bow Wow to eat one of those flowers. And if he's not feeling like it, he won't. As you can see for Vlack, he's just taking his sweet time.
Yeah. I mean, Bow is one of the most powerful beings in the entire Zelda continuity, but you're pretty much at the mercy of his whims.
Yeah, unfortunately this is the 100% category, so we do take him back to his owner. But in other categories, we can hold on to him for the entire game, and he eats stuff that, like, he has no right eating.
That's a great way of putting it.
Like, there are certain cutscenes, like opening dungeons, where, for whatever reason, the game manifests the event as an actual object on screen, and you can trick the game into making Bow Wow eat the cutscene.
Alright, we're watching a GT take out his aggressions on a statue. Actually, no, that was a mini boss. Turns out the game really is not expecting you to have the bow and arrow this early, and it's freakishly strong. You also saw them both take out the D1 mini boss in 2 arrows. It's an extremely powerful weapon in this game.
GreenTunic also just did it, and Black is about to do it, using the bow to just push these ghosts off the screen. And the game thinks that they're dead because they're not on screen.
I mean, not having them be on screen is as good a way as any to check, I suppose. Honestly, that's actually one of the things about this game. A lot of situations, the way the game checks for things makes sense, only if you don't consider the fact that weirdos like us figure out ways to exploit it.
Yeah, we just ruin everything.
Ruin or improve?
Both. Well, I think in the ghost room, I say think because it's been a long time since I did that casually, but when you light the torches in there, the ghosts do run away from you, and they can leave the screen. So it's entirely intended for that to happen, but they don't intend for you to just push them out of the screen yourself.
Yeah. Alright, now it's time for the clown genie. I'm not even sure what his name's supposed to be. But he's kind of a joke, humorously enough. And it turns out that the game wants you to throw that pot against the wall 3 times, having to dodge fireballs between them, but if you clip into the wall before you throw the pot doesn't really have anywhere to go, so it just kind of explodes. And then the second phase, 1 bomb followed by 1 bomb arrow. You actually saw them do that in Dungeon 1. That's the other cool thing about the bow. You can actually fire an arrow with a bomb attached to the end of it, which is cool for 2 reasons. Lets you blow things up far away, and who doesn't want to be able to do that? And also lets you blow things up immediately. You don't gotta wait for that bomb fuse.
There's always like people questioning whether bomb arrows are intended because certain versions of the game, they sort of make it harder to do. But we're pretty sure it's intended.
Because in most versions, the window for pushing the buttons is wide enough that you just like...
Yeah.
There's really...
You just like vaguely gesture towards the 2 buttons and the bomb arrow happens.
Yeah, it's a pretty generous window, as opposed to some other things that are frame perfect. No, bomb arrows are not. You can just kind of fat finger both buttons and it'll work.
No, bomb arrows are so free that you can actually lay down a bomb, open up your menu, and buffer a bow out of that menu, and it'll still happen.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. It's still amusing every time I see it.
So they're finally collecting this heart piece here. Getting it now saves 1 frame.
Hey, 1 frame is 1 frame. You can use it to hang up a picture on your wall. Now it's time to visit our friend the Mad Batter, and this is the first time where menuing becomes ridiculously important. The Mad Batter gives you 3 upgrades throughout the game, but you get to choose the order. The problem is he always offers you the bad one first, like any good used car salesman would. So we're going to make sure that GT says no the first time here, and he's in good shape. Going to get himself some bombs instead of some powder.
Yeah, some people when they take this menu, they really slow down just to be absolutely sure they're not accidentally taking the powder. Because if you do that, now, you probably have to go back to the shop and buy some bombs, or else you're not gonna have enough.
Yeah. Thankfully, messing up the first one is at least you can come back from it, but you really do not want to mess up the second one where you get the arrow upgrade.
Yeah, you have to be dragon or else you're done.
Dragon is a statistical anomaly and should not be counted at these things. Oh, GT opting to lift the bush with his bare hands rather than slash it with a sword.
Yeah, him doing that was actually giving Vlack a little bit of catch up there. Because normally we jump in and you'd buffer sword and shovel out of your menu, and you'd slash the thing and dig it up immediately. It's very quick, and it also hopefully avoids any text boxes from Bow Wow, because he'll try to tell you about a hidden thing under the ground there.
Oh, is that what that text box is?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's in Japanese, so I'm not sure, but that's what I've been told.
I almost thought it was just the zombies saying, like, whatever Japanese zombies say instead of brains.
Bree.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that. Yeah. Now it's time for the Richard picture. We haven't met him, and we'll never talk to him, but we have to take a picture with him. Here we are.
Yeah, we're just some random guy who he meets on this bridge here. And then, in a few minutes, we're gonna jump through his house, and he's gonna be like, whoa, how'd you get in there? And that's his entire involvement in the game.
Yeah, we pop out of the basement without even opening the door, because we're just that good. Okay, so someone in chat pointing out that it is definitely 100% Bow Wow that is talking to us, as well as Dog Can Talk.
No.
Oh,
So,
GT.
GT fell in, and he's actually now given Vlack the lead by, like, what, 2 seconds?
Yep. Still pretty narrow, but considering how close they're staying to each other, a small gap can make all the difference.
I really hope Vlack actually got that seashell there. So, he actually save and quit before the text box for that seashell appeared. And if you do that, you do save a bit of time, but depending on when you do it, he does have the seashell. But depending if you do it too early, you actually miss it.
Uh-oh. So Vlack very quickly getting the trick known as Villa Skip. GT unfortunately taking a tumble there. Taking advantage of that old chestnut that is... I just forgot what they're called. Global frame rules. There we go.
Yeah, the frame rules in this game are very punishing. Like we mentioned earlier that you can buffer the game 1 frame at a time here, but the global frame counter keeps ticking even in your menu. So even if you're just looking for that 1 sweet frame, I think it's like a 1 in 4 chance of getting it every time you unpause.
You say 1 in 4 chance, but I regularly see a double-digit pause and unpause for Villa Skip. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I mean, like, horse heads is 1 in 4. And we don't even want to talk about those.
I mean, what we could ever talk about is what Vlack just did there, that nonsense with swimming through the water when he doesn't even have the flippers.
No, Vlack is actually Jesus. We discovered that very early on, because he just gets great runs and walks in water for us.
You heard it here first, Vlack is Jesus. But no, the trick wherein you jump on the same frame you're about to splash into the water is called Jesus jumping. And if you do it on a screen transition, you can actually transition without taking a spill in the water. And now GT is doing the same thing.
That's actually a really cool trick. There are a lot of ways you can use it, because there's all kinds of places you might like to go without actually having done Dungeon 4. And in fact, it's not that new, I guess, but there was a reroute for our no squoob category. So, any percent no save and quit, no wrong warp out of bounds. Where we do a bunch of Jesus jumps in order to skip, well not skip, but to get to Dungeon 6 before Dungeon 4.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that one.
And I think we actually have Vlack to thank for that.
That wouldn't surprise me. Vlack has done a lot of work in No Squoob. speaking of no scoob, this is also the only dungeon we're going to see one of the fixtures of that category, which is the Piece of Power. Because one downside to being able to save and quit is that it resets your kill count, and Piece of Power only drops when you kill 30 enemies, so this is the only time we'll kill enough enemies between save and quits to get Piece of Power.
Yeah, D3 has like a lot of nice clusters of enemies, like 4 at a time, so you can just rack up kills really quickly. And thanks to doing like spin slashes while jumping, you don't even have to lose time during it. We also sort of missed commenting on it, and GT's coming up on it again, a trick called Dong Skip, where we do a cool super jump and then use our sword to bonk off of the dong here, and just get over that little rock wall.
That one's not a super difficult trick, but it does have a bit of risk. If you do it too late, it's very possible you actually won't bounce off far enough and land in the block. So if that happens, you might end up having to, just save and quit to reset the dungeon.
In this category, that's a huge time loss, but that's not quite as bad as in the no save and quit category, where it is an instant disqualification.
Yeah, because not even to save yourself, can't save and quit. Guess you'll just die then. Yeah, another perk to having Piece of Power is that it makes a Slime Eye, the boss of D3, not even worth talking about.
Yeah, we just get him to drop on our sword and he dies on his own, basically.
That's literally it. He's not even joking.
Yeah, we just wear down his desire to live, and he's done.
Alright, now it's time for one of my favorite one of my favorite pieces of heart, which is to say one of my least favorite, because answer me this, fair viewers, how on God's green earth are you actually supposed to determine that this is here? Just this random spot in this wall, in this random cave, and there's a piece of heart.
The answer, as Nintendo will tell you, actually the owls tell you in the game, if you tink your sword against a wall, you can find out if it'll break. So Nintendo expects you to just do that at every single wall in the game.
Ain't nobody got time for that!
And they're actually, there's one more seashell, or not seashell, heart piece, that is similarly hidden behind a wall that you'd never think about bombing. Actually, no, 2 more.
What are the other ones you're thinking of?
The one underneath the imaginary mini-boss, and the one that we bomb trigger in Telltale Heights.
That one's not, no, the one in Telltale Heights is actually is an alcove in a later cave, so that one at least has something that makes you think, what's that little indentation in the wall?
Yeah, that's the only one that has like any hint that maybe there's something there.
Meanwhile, you may also notice that we have jumped directly to the honeycomb in the trade sequence. Fun thing about that, so skipping the villa also skips the whole thing where you have to deal with Kiki the monkey to build the bridge to get into the castle, because who cares about Cantaloupe Castle? But the game assumes you did that whole thing, because otherwise how else would you get into Dungeon 3, right? So when Terran's just chilling there, assuming you have the stick, doesn't even check. Which is actually handy, because it turns out that the next part of the trading sequence, getting the pineapple from the bear, or rather talking to the bear there, is actually what you have to do in order to cause Marin to appear on the beach, and that's something we do need in this category.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that it's like the only date Link is ever going to go on in his life. But we do need 3 pictures with Marin in order to complete our 100%. Otherwise, we wouldn't even look at her.
You know, I'm pretty sure that makes this version of Link the most relatable Link. You know, the only chance of having to go on a date with a cute girl is in your dreams.
Wow.
Oh, just me?
That's too real. Says the married guy.
Oh my god. Well, speaking of dreaming, now we're going to literally have Inception here. Vlack is entering a dream within a dream. And because obviously...
alert.
Yeah, because obviously Link dreams about sweet potatoes. There's one in this chest right here. There it is.
Yeah, so Link's just gonna, like, peel skin off that, boil it up, and have a nice sweet potato dinner. I'm not sure if there's anything else he actually knows how to make.
Yeah, so part of 100% is also not just getting the ocarina, but also getting all of the songs for it. So despite the fact we're only going to actually use one song,
Best song.
we need to get the songs.
Best song.
No, we don't actually use best song.
Oh yeah, we use it tons.
No, we use Mambo's Mambo.
Oh, are you one of those people, Crunchy?
One of those people who speak the truth? Yes, yes I am.
But you put sword on B, don't you?
Yeah, actually.
Oh my goodness.
How do you not notice after all this
Crunchy's
time?
like double banned. So, actually, that is sort of one thing to comment on. In most other Zelda games, you have fixed buttons and inventory locations for every item. In this game, every item is free-floating. It can go on any slot you want, which is sort of a blessing and a curse. You can make sure you know where things are very quickly and you get to them quickly, but it also means if you forget where things are in your inventory, like you might have to take a couple seconds to refresh yourself on things, and that loses a little bit of time.
Yeah, which means this is also one of those games where we can talk about menu routing and say it with a completely straight face because we're being dead serious.
Yeah, there are a number of people who, like, sometimes when they're equipping an item, they'll swap, like, 3 or 4 different items into spots just so they're quicker to get to later.
Yeah, or in some cases to get things out of the way, as with the aforementioned ocarina, because once you get songs for it, it pops up a second menu, so I've seen several runners like to actually put the ocarina down at the bottom of the menu, just to not have to deal with that.
If I could, I'd put it in a different inventory altogether.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's just such a pain, because when it opens, it's like half a second of you don't get to do anything, and then you can only get off of it up or down.
Alright, and Vlack, just walking up and talking to Mare and just keeping it simple, keeping it classy.
Yeah, if anybody wants a date, just go down to the beach. There's a girl there, just run into her with your sword, and you'll get a free date.
Maybe that's what I needed to go next time I go to the lake. Yeah, no, that's probably not a good idea now that I think about it. Alright, now let's see how vlackSR and RNG seeding is going here. How are the seagulls panning out?
They're staying pretty. So they were in a straight line there, I think. That must be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movement of those seagulls is completely random, so...
And, oh, GT, going for the nut
Nice.
touch. Near and dear to my heart.
Gotta touch that nut.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile,
GT getting those spread out goals there.
Let's say, meanwhile, Vlack's getting a face sitting from Marin. She just drops right on Link's face and stays there for a minute.
Oh my goodness.
Voyeuristic photographers might be happy to take a picture of that.
I feel like, when you put it that way, I feel like we're bearing witness to something that's not appropriate for Twitch.
Yeah, this game has a lot of mature themes. I mean, like, dong skips, wang boys. It's just not for children.
Oh my goodness. Nintendo, everyone thought they were the kids' company when they were in reality so progressive all along.
They even have such mature themes as cock blocking.
Yeah, which we're about to see right here. The reason Terran gets chased by bees is because it's preemptive punishment for this right here. I mean, look at him. Look at him. He's going to stand right in front of the weathercock, blocking it.
Yeah, you can't even see most of the cock there. Or at least the statue. It's just completely rude.
Shoot, maybe I wanted to learn about the history of this statue, but I can't read it now because he's standing in front of it.
Also because it's in Japanese.
Okay, you know what? I can read a little bit. I can read a little bit.
I know what some of the symbols are, but I don't know what they mean, unless it says, like, arigato. Or moshi moshi.
And both of them attacking the dog in the square. Gosh, what do Vlack and GT have against dogs?
It's actually funny in the same quick category, when you go to the trendy game, sometimes you go there with really low health, and if you hit that dog by accident with your sword when you're slashing bushes, he will destroy you.
Yeah, We actually had that happen in the tournament, I think.
Yeah, I think it was TGH, wasn't it?
Was it?
I know it was like a joke with TGH having done it. I'm not sure if it was in the tourney.
Meanwhile, we also got to completely miss out on the fact that, actually, no, we haven't. Black's about to do it here. So we have Marin, which actually allows us to get rid of the Walrus the intended way, but what are intended strats? We don't know. All we know is how to bomb trigger.
Now, the intended strat is that you do this, and then Marin walks through the trees. I'm pretty sure that's what Nintendo wanted to happen. And GT actually doing the same trick from the left there.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe the Walrus is dead.
He had way too much cake and he just died of, I don't know what, diabetes?
I guess so. I could give some cake though. So speaking of weird things, Black's about to go menace this room, which has done nothing to him, but you can hear the room crying out, like, who is this madman? Comes into a room shooting arrows at the floor.
Yeah, this room's had a traumatic life, full of, like, harassment by arrows. So when you throw those arrows out, it just, like, throws a key and it's like, please leave me alone. Just take this and go.
And Black does, but not before going down to its innards and taking its heart. The desert is a very troubled place.
Maybe this is us just, like, taking out our rage from Oracle of Seasons for how bad that desert is.
Oh gosh. Having to go for the adventure with a pirate skull and not finding the thing you're looking for. Oh! GT, unfortunately.
Yeah, the room had to talk to him, I guess.
Did not put his foot down fast enough, and the room tried to call him out. Actually, someone asking, we actually didn't mention that, but grabbing the piece of heart earlier in the cave north of the village, that's actually another fun use of the bomb trigger. You can actually use bomb triggers to pick up heart pieces. We'll do it there, and we'll do it again later. Bomb triggers are not just for triggering cutscenes.
Yeah, bomb triggers are basically just for activating things. And the thing could be the heart piece, or it could be a cutscene, which is, like, it's sort of spawned on the screen in the same way as an object. So, it's just, the item gets activated and we get it. We don't really understand why, but we like that it happens.
I'm still pretty sure it involves something with memory addresses overlapping. Unfortunately, we talked over one of my favorite scenes of this game, so we're going to make sure we don't talk over it this time.
Oh. So I think we can both agree that that's like the actual best song.
That song gives me many feelings.
So, as mentioned, we don't actually need to use any of the songs, but we do need to collect them all for Hundo.
Yep. And now Black about to do one of the most important tricks, pulling off a flawless obstacle skip. Alright, so both of them could technically just be, now that Dungeon 4 is open for both, they could head straight to Dungeon 4, but instead, going to take a short detour up into the mountains, Jesus jumping up onto this ladder. You'll see Black do it here. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see early rooster skip from either of them.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's such an excellent trick that definitely saves a lot of time no matter how you do it. And everybody should do it in their runs unless they're self-respecting.
Bold of you to assume I have self-respect. But
so
now
there's a trick that we'll do later in the run called Rooster Skip, and there's a way to do it now, but it is painful.
Meanwhile, Black accidentally not standing far back enough and having the photographer fall off, while simultaneously clenching a glowing sword with his butt.
No, he's got really strong cheeks.
Yeah, I mean... Wouldn't you after all this adventuring?
Well, I don't know what he does with his butt while he's adventuring.
I mean... I'm sure adventuring is a full-body workout.
I should hope so.
Alright, but Black now in Dungeon 4. I suppose this would probably count as the water dungeon, despite the fact that there are 2 dungeons that are in the water.
No, this is the one we get flippers in.
Yep.
And it's got the underwater boss, so, I mean, how much more can you ask for?
Yeah, but is the dungeon located physically underwater, like D5 is?
It's behind a waterfall.
A dry waterfall?
Only because we turn off the waterfall.
But nonetheless, it is off.
But look, there's like water all over the ground there. If that's not a water dungeon, what is?
Oh, I get it. So my basement floods, now my house is a water dungeon. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you need the long shot for that.
Oh my god, that's why I gotta call professional plumbers. I don't have one, they do. We
Just
saw
look
Black...
for the chest in your basement. They'll probably have it in there.
The last time I went down there, I had to fight some sort of weird giant dude trying to break my skull. I don't even want to deal with that. Speaking of weird giant things, this is anglerfish, and that was anglerfish.
Speaking of breaking skulls, you'll actually see at the bottom of the screen there is a skull in there with the rocks. And the lore behind that is that that's actually the skull of the photo mouse, because he fell off of the waterfall into this dungeon and the anglerfish ate him, pretty much instantly devouring all flesh and sinew, leaving just a skull behind.
Nice. Why are you trying to pass your head canon as canon? I'm pretty sure that gets...
It's a really good canon.
Then why is that skull there in LA?
Because Nintendo was ahead of the times.
Holy cow. Speaking of weird things involving photography mouse, I actually saw a real Game Boy camera in the wild this past week. Like, someone actually using it. Attached to a Game Boy. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Oh. I didn't know anyone actually ever bought a Game Boy printer. Or a Game Boy camera.
I was surprised too. I was like, wait, is that actually... And I walked behind him and yeah, it was a real Game Boy camera.
Suddenly I find myself wanting one.
I would have been even more impressed if they'd had the printer to go with it, but those... you can find one of those that still works. I mean, there's not much else to say about anglerfish. Anglerfish is anglerfish. Anglerfish is the easiest boss in this game, I would say.
Unless you're Cravone, haha. Anglerfish, it is a fairly easy boss, but if you mess it up, it can go really wrong. Like, if you're not careful with your arrows, you can waste quite a few. And as mentioned, we need all of them that we can get.
Yeah. Speaking of things going horribly wrong, here's a ghost that's following us.
Not the ghost.
Yes, the ghost. And all it's going to do is follow us around, making that sound and talking to us at really inappropriate times. Speaking of inappropriate, it's time to drop some bombs into a bridge and recover part of a swimsuit.
Yeah, we just destroy the bridge foundation, and I guess it makes this bra appear. Or bikini, if we prefer.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a bikini.
Yeah, unfortunately, and then I think every version apart from the Japanese, it's a necklace. Because God forbid you should have a mermaid with no bikini on. So, mermaid, currently braless.
Yeah, I mean, come on, let's be fair. This movie came out after The Little Mermaid, so there's no excuse.
There's also another minor bit of censorship in the right house on GT's screen. There is a hippo there who's currently being like, what is she being? Just the guy's drawing her, I think.
Yeah.
And in the Japanese version, she has breasts, but in every other version, they've just given her like a flat chest, because God forbid.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Vlack pulling off a flawless first try early magnifying lens there. I'd say that's probably the fastest pattern, isn't it?
Honestly, I was thinking too much about hippos to be paying attention.
I mean, I know this is a common problem, Spice, I understand, but don't worry, I got you covered. I was watching the stream.
Yeah, for the early magnifying lens, there are 3 different spots that Zora can spawn at, and there are setups for each one, but depending on how it's done, it can be easier or harder. But I guess Black got it pretty quickly.
Yeah, looks like he got first try. A fun thing about early magnifying lenses is it's actually possible, because this happened to me, where the ghost will suddenly decide to talk to you while you're buffering. And the ghost can do frame-perfect talking, and he will completely interrupt you and throw off your timing. And then you want to just kill him a second time, because you're about to waste a whole bunch of time. Oh, GT, getting into the wall, but falling into the water, unfortunately.
Now, it looks like he doesn't know the setup for the bottom Zora, which is actually one of the easier ones I find.
Yeah, it also has the least number of buffers. That one's only 5.
Oh, he might be a bit too low. Yeah, he was actually too low to even super jump there. Because you can only super jump off of the tiles that have the ledge there. So the ones with the railing, if you're on that tile, you can't super jump.
He's trying to do it without menu buffering, so I think he's fine here, but there we go.
Yep. The ghost is actually the ghost of the mouse, so after dying, he has lost all purpose in his life, and this is actually his summer home. So he wants to come down here and make sure everything's still in order.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know, like, how many other people are there in this island that have died?
I mean, I don't know, maybe it's the ghost of Terran's wife. I don't know.
Vlack is actually currently out of arrows. I guess he wasted some somewhere.
Yeah, by the time he fought Anglerfish, he had exactly 2 arrows left. But now, that doesn't really matter now, because Vlack now has the most powerful weapon in the game.
The Zoomerang.
The Boomerang, the Zoomerang, Toomerang.
Yeah, the Boomerang is, like, it's basically a bow with infinite ammo, and also there are certain things where it does a lot more damage for no good reason.
Yep, and it also makes bushes explode, as we'll see right here.
And yep, 100% includes all the dungeons, which includes Color Dungeon, and all photographs. As well as all hurt pieces and 20 seashells.
Yep. And Vlack now on his way to get the second visit with Mad Batter to get himself that much-needed arrow upgrade, because he's out of arrows. Then he'll be on his way to the Color Dungeon, or Dungeon Zero as the cool kids call it.
Although, fun fact, if he was able to complete Color Dungeon without using any arrows, he'd be able to bomb trigger the fairy at the end. Which, Dragon showed off in one of his races where he did accidentally take the powder upgrade here.
Oh no. Oh my god. No one but Dragon. And there we have one of the only 2 uses we will see of Mambo's Mambo.
And the Ocarina in general.
Yeah.
Actually.
Which is good, because the less we have to menu over that silly sweet potato, the better. But now it's time to say goodbye to our ghosty friend, finally. Take him back to his grave. This is your home. Get in there.
Apparently I'm spoiling past races for Wolfos, because she never saw that one. If anyone hasn't watched them, the past races between basically Dragon and anybody else were amazing to watch just because he didn't actually know the full route. So there was a lot of improvisation and there were mistakes, but it was also like a lot of really good recovery.
Yeah, Dragon is a rando winner, so he's very, very good at just coming up with things on the fly. Often to spectacular effect. I'm pretty sure at one point there were two of us in Commentary Town screaming at what he was doing. At least once.
I don't think there's a race he's completed with actually getting all the items yet. Or
Wait,
like,
you can...
without missing things. Yeah, that's a new strat.
You can boomerang that?
Yeah, so you can boomerang heart pieces. And I guess somebody discovered that the boomerang actually kind of goes through that rock there.
That's right, because that one of the hottest, newest strats in LADX is also heavy boomerang use in the color dungeon.
That was also a really, really cool trick that I think Vlack was actually the one who found it recently, that we've called Zoomerang, where you're basically able to use the boomerang in conjunction with some other items, and you get a huge speed boost. Unfortunately, you can't perfectly control your trajectory, but in some areas it's really quick to use.
Yeah. Also, an important thing to note there, we do need 300 rupees to buy the best song, so Vlack has got the rupees out of that rupee room on the side, but this dungeon, since it was added in the DX version, is not... Oh, he actually zoomeranged right there.
Accidentally zoomeranged.
Oh,
no.
Oh god, he ate corn as well.
So someone make sure to clip that and throw it in the Discord.
Oh my god. But he did it again. I think he's doing it on purpose.
I think it's just when he goes off of the bouncy tiles, if you use the boomerang on there, that bounces you.
Possibly. But
that would have to be frame perfect too, I think.
I mean, I suppose so. Wait, yeah, but okay, we're about to see Vlack get the Nightmare Key and then immediately actually hard reset. That's because that rupee room he was in earlier, because the Dungeon Zero is an add-on, it's actually not saved on the cartridge memory, it's saved in the system memory, so if you hard reset the console, the state of that room isn't saved, and it's going to be full of rupees again.
Now, interestingly, if you actually swap save files here, without resetting, that room will still be empty. Just because it's all in RAM, not in save RAM.
Yeah, which is actually really cool when you stop and think about it.
But it also tells you that Nintendo was, like, really silly about how they implemented the color dungeon.
Look, it's one of those things where it's like, we need to add these things, but we also don't want to be messing around with the code of a game that already works. Or the way that memory locations are saved, so... Oh my gosh.
So Vlack using the boomerang here, which, it can be a little bit more annoying, but you also have a lot finer control over where you push things.
Yeah, that's the bingo room. Yeah, bingo room is often one of the most annoying rooms, but boomerang does make it a bit easier to manage. Just like that, Vlack already done with the color dungeon. Let's face up with the boss here. The only question that remains is, which tunic is he gonna get?
I think Vlack still goes red. There's been a bit of debate in our community lately about which one for the new Hundo route is faster, and we're pretty sure that they're about equal, while in the past the red tunic was definitely faster.
Yeah, if memory serves, it's like the most recent routing changes have made the gap really small, so it's often a matter of preference.
Yeah, like right now for the route, the only dungeon we clear between getting the tunic and getting the level 2 sword is Dungeon 6. And there's just not enough in there for the red tunic to make you any faster, really. Although, yeah, I definitely have to agree with Corin. Purple tunic is the best tunic.
I wish there were a purple tunic in this game.
They're actually, if you directly modify the game RAM, you can get a bunch of different colors by basically getting just like a different palette.
Huh.
But you'd never be able to... Actually, well, you could get that in the game using the Tunic glitch, where you have to kill, I think, 94 enemies on the overworld without, like, going into a cave or anything. But I'm not sure how much control you have over which one you get with that.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
Yeah, it's one of the things they do in the no restrictions category of Hundo, where everything is free, and there are no limits.
Dang. That sounds like the Wild West category of 100% speedrunning LADX.
Yeah, it's actually a kind of cool category because we have something called the Doghouse glitch, where you're able to basically go into the back of Bow Wow's house in Maeve Village, and you end up in this glitched area, and you're not allowed to do that in this category, but in the no restrictions category, you can go in there as much as you want, and there are a lot of cool areas in there you can go to find like items. Like you just find chests that randomly have items or photos or seashells and whatever. And yeah, I'm intentionally talking over the song because it's definitely the worst one in the game, whatever Crunchy says.
I mean, don't hate me because I'm right.
Don't worry, I don't.
Alright, and so now GreenTunic, having to unfortunately change his name to BlueTunic, heading down to the signpost mace himself to also go pay 300 rupees for the best song.
How can this even be the best song if it costs so much? Music just wants to be free.
You can't see it, but I'm shaking my head.
Oh, I can see it. I've got like 5 or 6 cameras set up in your room.
Well, that would explain why the lights flicker sometimes.
Yeah, whenever I turn on the camera, it just cuts the lights for a sec.
For a sec, you kidding me? The switch works about 5% of the time. You need to get more energy efficient cameras. What do you think this is?
I don't know, why don't you have good electricity there? Why don't you just get Canadian electricity? It works really well.
I mean... because I don't live in Canada would be my guess.
Just import it, it's probably free.
Yeah. Alright. So we're seeing Black get the 12th picture.
Yeah. That's probably like the easiest picture to miss, just because when you're going to D6, it's very easy to just be like, okay, I want to go to dungeon, and not really think about going for the photo. Oh, what's going on? For some reason the audio switched over to the second place runner, so I'll just fix that for us. I think there's some sort of glitch on speed gaming. Can you confirm that, Crunchy?
No, I did believe it's working as intended.
Weird. Very mysterious. So Vlad now going through this maze, and he's going to be collecting his final seashell, hopefully.
Yeah, I've seen him get them all, so I have no reason to think anything to the contrary.
No, I haven't checked his... I'm pretty sure he's gotten everything, but I haven't seen his menu yet to confirm. But hopefully at this stage in the tournament, now that we're in brackets, there shouldn't be anyone missing things, and he does indeed have 20.
Yeah. Now we have Armos Knight, which with Red Tunic is pretty much a non-entity.
Yeah, in categories where you don't have Red Tunic, there are like all kinds of different setups for fighting him with whatever items. But when you have Red Tunic, you don't even need to think. You just keep using your sword, and he can't even land to stun you. Although GT having the blue tunic, he'll have to actually like fight it properly.
And probably gonna see boot stress out of GT. And Black having the face key, already on his way. Dungeon 6. Some more boomerang strats. It's always cool to see boomerang strats. This cool weapon does not get as much use as I would like.
Yeah, it's really good at killing bushes, but most of the time that we're using the arrows or anything like that, we're using it for bomb arrows. And unfortunately there's no boomerang arrows, or bomberangs.
I mean, why would you need them? The boomerang already goes across the screen by itself.
Well, for destroying walls. Although I guess if you put a bomb on a boomerang, that would be a little bit dangerous.
That'd be a bomberang.
Yeah, but it's a bomb on a thing that just comes right back to you.
But if it hits something, it would explode.
But if it hits you, it explodes you.
Well, then you better throw it very carefully.
Oh. Black missing his thingy there just a little bit.
Is that the technical term for it?
Yeah, it's... most things in this game are called thingies. I don't know, the crystal platform switch things.
I mean... yeah, it's those crystal thingies.
Yeah. So
Those
JT
were,
doing his Armless Knight.
Doing looks to be classic boot strats. There is a newer boot strats that kills it further down, so it's closer to the door. You can leave faster.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna save. Oh no, he's not. There are a number of people who, if they kill the Armless Knight at the top of the screen, they'll actually do a save and quit there, and I'm not even sure if it saves time, but they do it.
Black using a bomb arrow on that last tile because screw that tile in particular, I suppose.
Yeah, at this point we have enough bombs and arrows that we can just use them on whatever we want and not really have to worry.
Yeah. Unless the thing was catastrophically wrong in D7, bomb count should be pretty much set for the rest of the game here.
Yeah, the only thing that you'd really worry about running out of bombs on is if you have to do a bomb trigger over a pit. Because if you can't get it quickly, you can just mash through your entire stock of bombs.
Looks like Black was setting up for that one. He's setting up for a super jump that I still don't know how to do. It didn't quite work, so he just took the traditional way back down.
It's basically that if you jump into a wall and you hold sword and jump and right when you hit it, you'll do a super jump off the wall even if you're not clipped. It's a really weird one. I don't fully understand it myself.
What I do understand is that Black has obviously been practicing his horse heads.
No, I think he's just got Bamboo's cart on emulator.
I didn't know Bamboo had a way of ripping his cart data.
Oh, so just to answer the chat regarding the tunics, there is one spot where the blue tunic is absolutely faster, which is the Dungeon 5 boss. And pretty much everything else is about equal. So many people prefer to take the blue tunic just for the sake of that one boss.
And also, it also provides added security. There's a lot of high damage stuff later on in the game. Because, let's be fair, dying is more costly than any amount of time that the red tunic can save.
No, there's a bit of stake. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So meanwhile, that was a boss. That's Facade.
Yeah. Facade is a really, really, really hard boss.
It was even more challenging in Seasons.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, there's a bit of a stigma on the blue tunic because in the past the red tunic was definitely faster. So if someone used the blue tunic, it was seen as sort of like a noob strat for protection. And we did recommend it to newer runners for the safety, but if you wanted to go fast, you pretty much had to use the red tunic then.
Yeah, but the gap, like I said, the gap has shrunk. The red tunic is still like faster, but it is no longer substantially faster. But now it's time to trade in those seashells for something nice and shiny. I mean, can we really call it shiny? It's more kind of glowy, electric-y.
So GTN getting 4th try horse heads there, which is pretty much exactly average, because each horse head has a 50-50 chance of landing upright, so it's a 1 in 4 chance of them both landing upright. And this current race is not best of 3. I think the way that we're doing this tournament is that it's just like single races for each one until we get to the finals, and the finals will be like a skewed best of 3, where the guy coming from the winner's bracket will only need to win once, whereas the one coming from the loser's bracket will need to win twice to win the tournament.
That's pretty standard.
Yep. Last year we did a singles up until finals, and then we did best of 3. But this year, since we're doing a double elimination, we're not gonna do losing bracket and best of 3. Also, I hope GreenTunic Vlack realizes he needs to pick up those rupees, because he currently has a risk of picking up this key. Okay.
Alright, so Black is setting up for a trick called early hookshot here. It turns out if you pull that key, you pick up that key on the same frame you transition to the next room, the game turns it into the hookshot, because you normally pick up the hookshot in the next room. And the mini-boss that drops it, Master Stalfos, drops a key if you beat him in any other room, but in that one room, the key turns into the hookshot, so we're taking advantage of that. And he's just, unfortunately, it's a 50-50 chance even with a perfect setup, and Black is not having good luck here.
Like, thank God he hasn't actually picked up the key by accident, because that can happen. And if it does, then it's like a 2-minute time loss.
Yeah, at that point you have to do the dungeon normally.
Yeah, no, the pixel definitely matters here. There are people who have their setups for this, and they swear that the pixel you stand on when you do this matters, but I had a race the other day where I had sixth try, I think. And people are like, oh, well, you're not staying on the right pixel, it's not going to work. But Vlack is doing the pixel in, what was that, 5th? 6th try?
Yeah, I think it was 5th try. That was very unfortunate, actually. Because each time you don't get that, that's 15-second time loss. So...
Yeah, luckily he is still ahead of GT by a good margin, though. But if GT has a quicker early hookshot, he could close the gap by quite a bit.
And here's Master Stalfos, who we will only fight once instead of 4 times. Thankfully, the level 2 sword beams, for some reason, have the same effect as the bombs, so we can actually kill him a lot faster as well.
Yeah, I think those two are the only things that can actually hurt him. I think so. I want to say there's one other thing, but I can't remember what it would be.
Oh, there is. I don't know what it is.
Oh, GreenTunic.
Oh, he remembers. Oof.
So the way we do that is we buffer Feather and Boomerang out of the pause menu, and then while we're in the air we hold left until we transition. And that way we pull the key towards us and hopefully pull it through the door. But it looks like he's also having a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, Vlack on his way to the boss of the dungeon, the Slime Eel. As mentioned, the fight is a little bit different if you have the red tunic versus the blue tunic. And since he has the knockback effect from the red tunic, it's going to be a tough one to get a 2-cycle on.
Oh, global frame rules do a number on Black there. You saw he was still visible even though he heard the fall sound. That just happens sometimes.
Well, GT also getting really, really poor early hookshot there.
That was his 4th try right there, I think, so he's already on his 5th attempt. Well, let's see if Black can get the 2-cycle. It's possible, but it's difficult with the red tunic. Doesn't get the 4th hit.
3 hits.
Oh gosh, GT on his 6th attempt now.
So yeah, no, tell us all about the pixel that works. No, it's very unfortunate for both runners, but at the very least they're fairly even from that.
Black finishing off Slimy or Wall Snake, whatever you call him. He's one of the bosses that it seems that he has one of two names that everyone knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, we call them wall snakes because this is something that doesn't really happen for experienced runners, but if you get, I think, 7 hits on him, or if you get 3 pulls or something, we don't really know, but if you've done enough whatever to him, you can actually pull it like a snake from the wall, and it'll just like run around for a while before exploding. So that's why we call them wall snakes.
I mean, that's a thing that can sometimes happen. I mean, accidents happen. I may have gotten 5 wall snakes and lost a run to that boss before.
Oh, GT doing some nice hookshot jumps.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's doing his rooster skip a little bit early.
Yeah, he's getting some practice in. That's the same trick that will be used in Rooster Skip. It every time he manages to jump without falling in the pit is a frame perfect input.
And to answer Zero, meaning we don't really know what the chances are or what causes it to happen.
It's random. I mean, sometimes you'll get 7 out of 8 hits and you won't get him to pop out. Sometimes you'll get 7 out of 8 hits and he'll pop out 5 times. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, like when I started running, the theory was once you hit it 6 times, then it can start giving you fakes. But we've also seen it happen when you haven't hit it that many times.
Alright, so Black will do his Rooster Skip.
Yeah.
GT should hopefully have some luck getting himself a 2-cycle here, because the blue tunic, it's easier to do.
Very nice. That was a little bit scary, though.
Yeah, it had to be quiet, there's just too much going on. But GT getting his 2-cycle, Vlack getting his first try Rooster Skip.
Unfortunately, in our out of bounds rules, it prevents us doing a trick called Rooster Skip Skip, where you can do a super jump from the screen below the rooster key.
True.
Which is a really cool skip, but unfortunately it's banned.
Yeah, that said, it is absolutely possible within this rule set to do Rooster Skip Skip Skip. In fact, we have seen someone do it in this very tournament.
Was it me?
It may very well have been.
I know I did. Oh yeah, so guys and I have both done early Rooster Skip.
Well, I wasn't talking about early Rooster Skip.
What's Rooster Skip Skip Skip?
Where you actually just get the rooster.
Oh, I did that!
Yes, you did! That's what I'm talking. Oh my god, I can't take you anywhere.
I forgot what that was. Yeah, I did one race against Phantom Matt, and because our time difference is so large, and, like, we're good buddies, so I was like, I'm just gonna sort of joke around in this race a little bit. And one of my jokes was that I actually went back to town to get the rooster.
And by golly, you did it. Alright, so yeah, this is Dungeon 7, which I remember being incredibly obnoxious casually, but thankfully bomb triggers exist, so, yeah. This
No, I definitely remember bomb triggers as a kid.
Of course you do.
I have no recollection of that ball.
Well, I mean, both of them are round and dark, and you throw them. It's an easy to make mistake. Alright, now GT about to go do his own Rooster Skip here.
And Black doing the impossible bomb trigger there.
Turning a 4-story tower into a 3-story tower. Oh! GT
wow.
flawless rooster skip. That was beautiful.
Double firsties.
Whew.
That is such a scary part to get to in your run, because that's happening an hour and 9 minutes, like hour and 10 minutes into your run. So if you mess that up, it's an hour of your life just gone.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you can nail it in practice, like, you get to that point in your run, your hands are a bit tired, you're a bit, like, possibly on edge because you're ahead of pace, and, like, who knows what happens. Black gonna do a really cool off-screen kill for this boss. For some reason, if you have done a single save and quit in your run, you can just shoot your hookshot or fire magic rod downward here, and actually hit the eagle.
Yeah, what an odd thing though. All you have to do is save and quit once and it works.
Which is kind of crummy, because that means we can't do this in our no save quit category.
Yeah, so you have to do shenanigans with bombs, but at that point the bomb strat works because the bottom is solid, so bombs just sit there.
So we got Vlack finishing D7 just as GreenTunic's going in.
All right, so you might see GT do his bomb triggers in different way. That's actually one of the cool things about this dungeon, that you can either drop bombs in the pits, do them on transitions. There's multiple ways you can do them.
Yeah, everyone's got their preference for how they like to do it, because it doesn't really save or lose too much time either way. So it's whatever you're most comfortable with and you can nail comfortably.
Yeah.
But the one thing is that top left green Zol you do have to kill for this screen to work. Oh, and actually, watch Black here, because he's going to do a really cool trick. The Zoomerang. Oh, he messed up a little bit.
Oh. He's gonna break my heart the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he did it too low on the screen, so he actually has bonked into the bottom wall. But if you do it while you're higher up, you can... like 1 second you'll be at the right end of the bridge. About like 0 seconds later you'll be on the left side of the bridge.
Yeah, it's kind of comically fast how quickly Link moves across the screen. Alright, Black traversing the treacherous cabbages.
Yeah, it's an angry shopkeeper from Avatar The Last Airbender just throwing his cabbages down the hill, because he's had enough of his stand being destroyed.
My cabbages! Oh gosh, GT having a little trouble with that Goomba surf. You have to get that top Goomba to move to the right. Black got it immediately. GT's not having that same luck. Maybe you should just go for P-hat jump. There we go. Oh no.
He's gonna have to use boots to get out of here, but he is fine.
Alright. Wasn't sure if he got enough distance on it.
And it looks like he's actually just gonna go for the bomb kill.
Alright.
He may not actually know how to do the hookshot one, but it's still a very consistent kill.
Yeah. It's still a very fast kill. Hookshot's the fastest, but bomb strat is not a slow strat by any stretch of the imagination. No, Black Bomb triggering the entrance to Dungeon 8.
GT not timing his bombs perfectly there, he actually missed one of them. But luckily the Eagle didn't decide to go up and blow him off. And Black getting a Retribution Zoomerang. Such a cool trick.
It really is.
But not going for the swag bomb arrow there.
We're going to see a pretty cool looking trick here then in a moment with involving the hookshot. Just like that. Yeah, Dungeon 8 is one of those things where in this game casually, Dungeon 8 is obnoxiously long. It's huge, it's a maze-like. But when you know everything is, particularly where you can blow up those holes in the wall, it's so short.
Yeah, then there's Cravone's ROM hack. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's still a video clip somewhere of me getting across the pit, then falling through solid ground and immediately just swearing at Cravone.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Dancer, Bonfire, and Chat. We're pretty sure it just has to do with like how the game writes to certain memory addresses, like for timers. So the game tries to write the timer for a second bomb, but it's like, oh wait, you've already got this used. I'll just use the next slot. But the next slot would be like another like row down in the memory, so it does stupid math. It just goes to start of the row instead of start of the next row.
Yeah, basically it's putting bombs where they don't belong in memory, and that causes things to happen. And that was Cue Ball. Cue Ball's also in D4, but we don't see him in this category.
Yeah, Dungeon 8's actually cool because it has, I think, every mini-boss in the game apart from Master Stalfos or Goma's.
Yeah, but Master Stalfos can stay on the bottom of the sea, because he's a jerk.
That's not very nice.
Neither's Master Stalfos.
Actually, no, he is a huge jerk. There's a chest in Dungeon 5 that is supposed to contain the hookshot, but it actually just has a note in it from him being like, near, 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 I took it. Come beat me if you want it.
And then he draws a picture of his own face on it.
Yeah, because that's how people sign their names on this island. They just try to draw their face to the best of their ability.
Yeah, speaking of faces, this is Hothead, and that was Hothead. Hothead's actually a pretty annoying
Cabeza
boss.
del Fuego? That's his.
Firehead. That's close enough.
Black.
And
Oh, very good. Blacking, the most
validated.
boring trick in the game.
pulling off a magnificent wang, boys. And with that, Black has all 8 instruments. I wonder if he's going to go for the mushroom.
I wish.
I mean, he's got a little bit of time to stir. He can probably totally go for the mushroom. Oh, I think he tried to go for his, tried to go for the sprite overloading there for a moment. I still lament the fact that I could have gone for the mushroom in my final race of this tournament, and I did not.
Yeah, I totally forgot that in my race against Matt. And then I got shit from other people for forgetting to meme. But yeah, so Black is heading up to the egg. Ordinarily, you'd need to use the Ballad of the Windfish song on your ocarina to open the egg, but we'll just do a bomb trigger to skip yet another required use of an item.
Yeah, Link is still not very used to playing the ocarina, so he'd rather stick with instruments he's familiar with, and for him, that's the bomb.
And Black just doing a quick picture check there, and I saw that he does indeed have 12 out of 12 pictures. So, assuming he has this level 2 sword, or shield rather, which I'm pretty sure he does.
I saw him grab it. I saw him grab it.
So this run is 100%.
Yes. And he obviously has all the hearts, so yeah. Only thing standing between Black and the end at this point is Nightmare, and that's, well, I guess we'll see how Nightmare treats him. Well, you don't have to, he doesn't have to play the instruments when they play themselves.
These are magic instruments.
So,
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
I think it'd be kind of rude to go up to a magical instrument and say, hey buddy, I can play you better than you can play yourself. I mean, come on.
Yeah. One fun fact is actually if you come to the egg with less than all the instruments, it will still play the song, but only the instruments you have will actually play. So you'll get sort of like a neutered version of that ballad.
Yeah, I actually used to do it as a kid because, I don't know, I was easily amused, I guess. Who am I kidding? I'm still easily amused.
Yeah.
That's okay, it means it gives me more chances to laugh about things. I am 100% okay with that. And Black gets the final bomb trigger of the run right there. Skipping that text, unfortunately also skips the trigger that makes the music play. So here we go.
So the first 2 balls here are guaranteed round balls, yellow balls, whatever we call them. After that, each ball is a 50-50 chance of being able to be reflected. And we need 2 reflections after that. So we'll see how many blue balls Black gets here.
There's
I'm
no cap
betting
on them either.
4. Just because I'm mean.
Alright, there's one. There's 2. GT having a really good hot hit, looked like. There's 3.
Oh. Actually, I've changed my vote. It's now 18.
There's 4.
4.
Oh boy.
So at this point, like, Vlack is probably gonna win. He cannot PB, but he could maybe get the blue ball world record. And that would be really cool.
He's already at 4. Oh, no. So your first guess was correct, but since you changed it, I'm afraid you don't win.
Oh.
All you had to do was not say anything else, and you could have had that victory.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who's gonna go. You think he's gonna go for Death Will Skip?
Yes, he will. So this trick here, Death Will Skip, you basically use your Ocarina on the right frame, and you freeze the top bat in place for some reason. And then when the final phase of the boss spawns, it just... the bat dies because it has no health. And the game's like, okay, something's dead. It must have been the boss, let's spawn the stairs.
Yep, it's going to show that best song is stronger than Deathel.
Yeah.
Just like that, Black is our winner here today.
Yep, finishing with an SRL time of 121.29. And actually, Zero Meaning is definitely correct. It is pronounced Death Eye. It is spelled D-E-T-H capital I. Because Nintendo, I guess, likes puns.
That's cool. The guy who made the format also calls it GIF, and so there you go.
Screw that guy, though.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep calling it Deathel.
Because the G stands for graphics, so it's GIF.
Like when you talk about something that's really big, do you call it Gargantuan? No, I didn't think so. Like the windfish, in fact. Look at this boy, this giant boy, this
it's gigantic
boy. Absolute unit.
Yeah, giraffic interface format. Seems good.
Yeah. Now, whenever everyone finishes the race, I'm going to offer them a JJ. Alright, GT facing off as well here.
It looked like he gave up on that halfway through the quick kill.
I think he might have realized he didn't get it.
Yeah, that's a really finicky thing. Like, I'm pretty sure that kill is 50-50.
Yeah. There's an unfortunate number of things in this game where you can get it set up correct and it might not work.
Yeah, this game just loves to screw you over.
And why do we keep playing it? Oh, because we like the game, that's right.
And we hate ourselves.
Alright, here we go.
Oh, GT again, 0 blue balls.
Oh, 0 blue balls. And getting the blue tunic Moldrum quick kill.
No, it's the same quick kill we do in our non-hundo categories, but because we have level 2 sword, we don't have to mash for quite as long. GT, quite a bit late on that. Actually, He was expecting the other bat to spawn in, but he was too quick killing Ganon.
Well, actually, you just think that, but I think it's because he did it with the wrong song. But the boomerang is about to prove its supremacy right here. One shot, so long.
One shot, one kill.
That's like the exact opposite of my experience playing Widowmaker in Overwatch. More like 15 shots, no kills.
Maybe you just need to get good.
Maybe I just don't want to play snipers.
That is also true.
I'd rather play sniping grandma and shoot healing bullets into people. But GT finishing.
Yeah, so GT finishing with a 124.44. And unfortunately, that's going to put him in the loser's bracket. So he's not out of the tournament yet, but he has to win every race from now on to stay in. That's going to be an uphill battle.
Oh, definitely. There are all the runners that are remaining in this tournament right now are very strong runners. All right, let's see if you may want to pop in here and say a few words.
Yeah, so I'll just message them. We'll see if they're interested. Unfortunately, I can't post message on the SRL chat because I'm banned from the chat room for whatever reason.
No worries, I can do some things here.
Alright, GT says he's not going to pop in.
Okay.
And I think Vlack typically doesn't pop in either, so I'm just going to count him as a no as well. So...
well, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that was a very nice run from Vlack, though. 121 is a really, really good time for the tournament. I think this is only the... I'm just checking the times here, and I think that's only the third 121 that we've had in this tournament.
Dang. You have... I don't have the times handy like you do, so I'll have to defer to you on that.
Yeah, I think third or fourth, but yeah, that's an incredibly good tournament time.
Oh, most definitely.
So, like, definitely GG to Vlack. But a little bit behind his PB still by 2 minutes. But that kind of just shows like how much RNG can affect the run. Because his execution was really good today.
That's one of the unfortunate things about LADX. You can do everything right, then just sometimes the game just says, no, today's not your day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the blue balls alone, he had 4 of them. Each one of those cost you 8 seconds. That's quick maths. What, 32 seconds lost?
Yeah,
just from blue balls.
And then fifth try early hook shot. That's another minute right there.
Yeah, that's like a minute and a half time loss for that.
Yeah, and you take that off, he would have been playing in 119 territory, which is exceedingly good. That's top tier.
Well, you take that off, and that would have been a PB for him.
Yeah.
Like, that shows you how good his execution and consistency is, that the RNG is the only thing keeping him from PB.
Yeah, which is also a really unfortunate spot to be. At that when you get at that point, you need to have a lot of dedication to keep grinding it out, because all you can do is just hope that the game cooperates. And there's GT confirming he has 12 pictures, so both of them with 100%. Very good to see.
Mm-hmm. And Vlack had done his confirmation beforehand, so we already know he has 12 pictures.
Yeah.
But he's still free to show it if he wants to. So I'm just going to pull up our speed gaming schedule.
Yes, indeed.
And let's see what else we have on tap for tonight. We have a Luigi's Mansion race going on right now. That's probably like nearly done. So we're about an hour into that. But honestly, I've been really enjoying the Luigi's Mansion ones. So if you haven't watched one of those yet, I highly recommend checking it out. We also have a Celeste run that's about halfway through, and a Super Metroid. As well as Super Metroid, Link to the Past Rando, and Nier Automata for the rest of the night.
And if you want to see more top 8 LADX 100% action, we have races for the next 3 days, one a day. We have tomorrow at 1 p.m. we have Xander versus Noed. On Wednesday we have Bamboo Shadow versus Alos, and on Thursday we have Sagas versus Spirister. All of those are going to be really good races. I'm looking forward to all of them.
Yeah, I think the tightest one is going to be, I'd say probably Bamboo versus Olos. Although Bamboo is a really good runner, but he's also been devoting a lot of his time lately to Lufia 2, not like this, instead of practicing for this tournament. So,
Well, no, that's not true. I caught him playing some Oracle of Seasons.
oh well, thank goodness. At least he has 2D Zelda. So hopefully, not too many ancient cave strats he's pulling in.
Well, fingers crossed, I suppose. But all those are going to be great races. I'm looking forward to seeing them all.
Actually, looking at it on the leaderboards, Bamboo and Olos are 7 seconds apart for their PBs.
Wow, really? That close?
That is an incredibly tight, close race. So that'll be a really fun one to watch.
Yeah, it will. So 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, August 8th. You all want to come back for that one. You definitely do.
Be there or be square.
Or be there and be square. We don't judge.
Yeah, let's tip to be square.
I don't know if you lose to continue that joke.
Yeah, all I know is from American Psycho.
Ah, that's right. That one scene that yeah, great. Now I'm thinking about that scene.
Great, now I'm thinking about a dude in a raincoat axing people to death.
All right, before we keep free association theater running too much further and get ourselves banned from speed gaming forever, I think maybe.
Well, hey.
That should. I got nothing else. What you got?
I got pizza on the way.
I'm jealous.
Me too, because it's not here yet. I'm jealous of future me. Anyway, I'm Spice Father, and
I'm Crunchy Lex.
And I guess good luck to everybody else for the rest of the tournament. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching, folks.